Okay, so in this training, we are going to go through webhooks. All right, so webhook is basically sending the data. So what we're doing is we are taking a hook, right? So this is a data hook, right? A data hook, and we are hooking our data into another third-party application. We're basically sending the data via a glue, right? A glue of the internet. So in this case, Zapier. So it could be Zapier, it could be Integromat, it could be any of other similar applications that you're using, as long as they have a webhook function. So we are sending our data directly by webhooks. And then once that's done, you can send it to any other third-party applications that you want. You could send it to a calendar, you could send it to a task management, Asana. Right? You could send it to Go High Level. You could send it to any of the thousands of applications that is currently available through the likes of Zapier. Right? To set up webhooks, it is really, really easy. So you come here, firstly, click on this your main dashboard, and you'll be able to see webhooks. Okay. Now you can see I've got 2 webhook created already, but to create a webhook, you just click on Create Webhook, and let's just go Title Test. Now, the webhook URL. Now, you need to grab your webhook URL through, say, Zapier, right? So if you haven't signed up for a Zapier account, make sure you do. And just click on Create Zap. Now, your very first step should be webhook, right? Now, webhooks are usually on a premium plan, so you need to be at least on a premium plan to be able to use webhook. So if you're on the free plan, I don't think it will allow you, or maybe you're on a trial. But otherwise, you should already have Zapier. So select webhook by Zapier, and what you want is you want to catch a hook. Yeah, you want to catch a hook. So click Continue, and there should be a custom webhook URL. So copy this URL and go back to your Genius Messenger. Click on webhook, create webhook. Let's go test and paste this URL directly here. So click add. What we want now is we want to send some data so that we can do a test, okay? So if we just click continue, and it will want to test the trigger. Now, obviously, there's nothing to test because there's no data. We haven't sent any data yet, okay? So let's say test. It will say there's no data. All right, we couldn't find a request, okay? So what we want is we want to send some data over. It could be additional details, could be a notification area. Let's say, for example, let's go test. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's now select. Oh, let's go refresh the page. What we want is let's go test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we want to send some data. Right. So this data will now be sent by the webhook URL, which we set up in Zapier, paste that link directly into the dashboard. And now we're going to send this data through. Zapier is going to receive this data, and then it's going to process it, and you can push it to any other of the thousands or tens of thousands of applications that is connected to Zapier. All right, so let's click on update. Okay, data sent to webhook, additional details updated. Okay, so let's go back to Zapier, and let's test the trigger. Boom, right? So you can see first name, Deborah, last name, Sai, replied. So it will even show you the label, right? So the label, replied. And let's go back in here. So your friend's phone number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the gender, her messenger URL, and everything else, right? So this is what we've just placed to send the data via webhook. So if we click continue, right? So now we have catch the hook, right? So essentially we have received the data. So Zapier now has connected directly with Genius Messenger. So we are now grabbing those data, and then now we can push this directly to any other applications, right? Over 4,500 more applications. There's so many. Okay. Let's say, for example, ClickFunnels, or maybe even Gmail. Actually, Google Sheets. Let's go Google Sheets, right? Okay, create a spreadsheet row. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. All right, now I'm going to select my drive. I'm going to select my sheet. Okay. And worksheet, number one. And now I'm going to decide on what data I want to push, right? What data I want to push directly from our first step into our second step. Okay, so Facebook username, let's say username. We can select all these, all the data that we have just received. So these are data we have received from Genius Messenger CRM. So now on the second step, we want to decide what input data. So which input data we want from the first step. So remember, in the first step, we caught the data. So all the data is coming through, and then we are now pushing that data into the second step. So in the second step, we'll need to decide exactly what data we want. Actually, let's go first. Username, maybe we go the Messenger URL, okay? So our first name, our last name, and then we are going to put our email address, which is test@test.com. Okay, so continue. All right, so if we test and continue, right, and we can see that the data is now being pushed through, okay? So these are, so if we go down to the bottom, let's do a test, and you'll be able to see these data, which started off directly from our CRM, is now getting pushed through to our Google Sheet because we have two steps, right? So we have catch a hook, and then we have create a spreadsheet row. So realistically, on the second step, you could have any other applications, right? It doesn't have to be Google Sheet. It could be Google Calendar. It could be the CRM. It could be Asana. It could be any other applications that you want to push your data directly from the first step. And remember, all these data came from the CRM. So all these data came directly from here, right? And to do that, you just need to set up the webhook. So now I'm just going to do a test, and I'll show you how the data it will come through. So testing continue, and boom, right? So right here, you can see this is the Messenger link. This is the first name, last name, and email address, right? Okay, so it is as easy as that, guys. It is as easy as that. All right, so this concludes the training for Webhook. The next video, I'll show you how you can use the webhook to push data directly into Go High Level, and also push your data directly into your Google or Apple Calendar. All right, I'll see you in the next video.